Welcome back, Buckos, and what is hatching, Tug Peeps? Oldmantup coming at you today with our team builder for GBA Season 6, Week 8 against GG's Lord MV, the, if I'm not mistaken, current first place team in the entire league. So yeah, we really have to play some greatness. Some of the sets he's been bringing have just been razzle-dazzle and just really throwing people for loops. We have to be ready for that this week. Now, we look at our team, we look at his team. Let's take a look at his team. And we're actually going to give it a look at. This is from the Google Fan Doc, so this is perfectly public knowledge. His team is Togekiss, Mega Ampharos, Keldeo, Donphan, Gyarados, Haxorus, Gorobus, Wobbuffet, Blaziken, Sneasel, and Jirachi. Now, one of his biggest used Pokemon so far is Jirachi, and it's just ruining people's faces. But because we have a very Jirachi-resistant team, I don't think he'll bring that. Very possibly bring in Togekiss, Mega Ampharos, possibly. We don't have a Dragon Resist outside of Excadrill. So, I mean, he could just Dragon Pulse all the things. Keldeo, very possible. My team is very water weak, and he has 3 very big water threats, and I expect at least 2 of them, if not all of them, to come. But Keldeo, Specs Keldeo just wrecks my team's face. Yeah, Donphan, I expect him to bring Donphan because it's the best thing on his team that answers Excadrill. And Excadrill runs through pretty much the rest of his team if the opportunity is there. I mean, Gyarados still a little bit of a trouble. Got that Intimidate and Natural Bulk, so Gyarados can be a problem for Excadrill. Haxorus, I don't know that Haxorus will come, especially if he brings Mega Ampharos. I think Mega Ampharos puts in more overall work to my team and will balance better with what I believe he'll bring. Gorobus, I don't know. I'm on the fence about Gorobus. Even at +2 speed, Excadrill outspeeds in the sand, so I'm not as worried about it. So yeah, Wobbuffet's always something to worry about, so we have some shenanigans ready for that. Blaziken, not as fast as some of the things that it would do damage to unless it's scarfed. Sneasel, the fastest thing on his team, which matches the speed of Azelf, which we'll talk about later, and then Jirachi, which we don't think he's going to bring. So let's bounce back to the team. We have Toasty, Rotom Heat here, Choice Scarf, Levitate, Trick, Volt Switch, Overheat, and Hidden Power Ice. Almost perfect coverage against his team. I don't think he has anything that resists all 3 moves, or is even neutral to all 3 moves. Hidden Power Electric, Volt Switch, Hidden Power Ice, Volt Switch, Hidden Power Ice, Volt Switch, Hidden Power Ice, Volt Switch. There's the neutral. There's the neutral. Overheat, Overheat. So we hit everything really well on his team. If we could trick that Wobbuffet an item, that would be fantastic if he decides to bring it. But we do have the trick just in case, catch some of his shenanigans in action. Enough speed, just enough speed to outspeed a +1 Gyarados. I believe that's the closest speed thing, because we have 88 speed. Yep, 81. Everything else pretty much outspeeds us at +1. We outspeed a Scarf Blaziken, which is fantastic. And didn't he have one more? 80, yeah, Togekiss. We outspeed a Scarf Togekiss in the event he decides to want to bring that, which I don't think he will. But that's that set. Max special attack, max, like I said, almost max speed. Now we're going to go to Band-Aid. The Azelf, and I'm really debating whether or not, if I'm going to dedicate this a lead, if I want to go ahead and give it a Focus Sash or keep the Expert Belt, as it does damage to his entire team. If I'm not mistaken, this almost perfect coverage against his team. Thunderbolt hits all the things hard. Psychic hits a bunch of other things. Dazzling Gleam for Sneasel. U-Turn for Initiative. And like I said, the only thing on his team unscarfed that even ties it in speed is Sneasel. So that's what we got Azelf rocking this week. So we got max speed. So if he isn't a Scarf Sneasel, it's a speed tie. Now we have Jade, and Jade is more or less our answer to the bulky water, or the taking a water type attack. Sadly enough, Gyarados still 1v1s this after it's +1 because it Earthquake just wrecks this thing's face. But we have Toxic Spike, Scald, Sludge Bomb, and Rapid Spin. His only access to hazard removal are Dawn Fan with Rapid Spin and Togekiss with Defog, if I'm not mistaken. So getting up some Toxic Spikes could really hurt some of his offensive threats and whittle down his walls, which would be really, really nice if we could get that set up. I have yet to successfully set up Toxic Spikes this season, I believe. So that's sad face. But specially defensive, namely for Keldeo, because we resist both its stab attacks. We kind of really have to bring it. I didn't want to bring Jade this week because I don't think it matches up well against a team, but we need something to sponge Spec Scalds if he brings it. And that is what we are doing. I'm 99% certain he's going to have to dedicate a hidden power to defeating Tentacruel, because even at I think +1, I can take 2 hidden powers. So hopefully we'll be able to get some damage on that thing with Jade. Jalapeno, namely our dedicated wall to playing Gyarados. Even if it's bounce Gyarados, we're not really worried about that very much, because we can set up the subs around it, get up to Leech Seed, slowly take it down. We have the Stun Spore, we have subs. This is a sub-seeding Tangrowth, and I really hope it gets to shine because it's one of my favorite sets for any grass. Anything that can sub-seed is all aces in my book, and that's what I'm looking for. Something to come in. We got the we don't have assault vest this week. Wow. We have leftovers. Yeah, it's a good thing we don't have Assault Vest, because only one of our moves would work. What was I thinking when I said that? The sad thing is we can only sponge one Keldeo hit, because if he's carrying Icy Wind, I think it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO. And prior damage makes it even more likely. So we have to watch out for that. And if he burns us, Power Whip isn't going to be doing hardly anything, which would be sad face. So we're going to have to watch around that. Gyarados possibly could be carrying the Fire Blast. We have seen Fire Blast Gyarados in the GBA before. Someone does enjoy talking about it. If you don't know, go back. I think it was like Season 1 Fire Blast Gyarados. But yeah, that's namely what this is to do. To come in and stand in Gyarados' face. Possibly paralyze it if we can. Get it leech seeded to just slowly start whittling it down. And his Power Whip things in the face. He doesn't really have an answer to Power Whip, surprisingly. He's got 2 Dragon types, and he has Jirachi. I don't expect him to bring Jirachi, so I'm not worried about that. His Dragon types, I can sub up when they switch in and seed them, so they're slowly dying. So I really think this Tangrowth could put in the work this week. Now we have the obligatory Sand Rush offense, because we really need this to hit a lot of things on his team. Really, really. We have Winston. We have the Edgequake combo with Stealth Rocks and Slack Off. Stealth Rocks damages a lot of the things that I think he's going to bring, namely Sneasel, Gyarados. Oh, there was one more. I don't remember. But getting up rocks early in the game would be really nice, even though he does have Togekiss, that's it. Does have a pair of methods which I expect him to bring to get rid of the rocks. So we can expect that. Smooth Rock, because you'll see with this Excadrill set we need a few extra turns to pull off what we want to pull off. And let's get right into that. Ev spread on this is max special defense to allow us to take... Oh crap, what was that for? It allows us to come in and almost completely wall the hair guy, Fabio, Mega Ampharos. There we go. I think people call that Fabio, right? Right. Because of the hair. Yeah. So it lets us take Dragon Pulses, I think 3-hit KO, even after Stealth Rocks. And we can slack off that damage if we need to, and between Earthquake and Stone Edge, just put a hole in it. And the sand would let down. So yeah. We are going to bring Kruger this week, and this set is a little bit different. And you guys are going to be like, really, Tup? We are rocking the Swords Dance, Rock Slide, Earthquake, Magnet Rise this week. And you're thinking, Magnet Rise? What the hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon, are you talking about, Tup? Now, as I said, I expect Donphan to be his hard counter to this. Switch in on anything, and you're good to go. Because it resists the 3 most common attacks brought on Excadrill. Earthquake. Well, it doesn't resist Earthquake, but it takes them for days. Trust me, I did the calcs. It takes Earthquakes, it takes Rock Slides, and it takes Iron Heads. We're not bringing Iron Head this week because it's only really good against one Mon compared to everything else. So, between Rock Slide and Earthquake, we really do damage to what I expect him to bring. The Magnet Rise is the Swords Dance up on the predicted incoming Donphan, because that should be his default answer to this. So, Swords Dance up when he switches in. Catch him off guard with the Magnet Rise, because he's gonna have to Earthquake. He can't let us go. And this could be another good reason to get rocks up. Donphan gets sturdy, and we want to be able to one-shot that thing. And even in defensive Donphan, after 2 Swords Dance, it's nearly a guaranteed 1-hit KO after Stealth Rock damage. So that's fantastic. That's really my plan, to get rid of Donphan, and once Donphan is gone, I don't have to worry about it as much. The sad thing about Excadrill is a lot of the things I expect him to bring can one-shot me depending on their spreads. Gyarados Waterfall is almost always, no matter the set, a 1-hit KO. Keldeo 1-hit KOs me with both its stab moves almost all the time, no matter what. Sneasel, not so much. We can take low kicks for days. Even if he's banded, we can survive one at max health. For those of you who don't remember, we played Weavile last week, and we had the calc ready that told us that we could survive the low kick from Weavile. So that's good. I don't think we have as much HP investment this week as last week, but Sneasel's a little bit weaker, so we can take the damage a little bit better. So that'll be bueno. And that is the team builder. I really hope this magnet set works well. And yeah, it would just be bueno to see this thing just wreck through his team. Oh, Lumberry, I know what you're going to say, Tup. You're not going to survive a Scald from Keldeo. And you're probably right. This is not this is not to live a Scald from Keldeo. This is to, in the event we have to come in on a hit on Jirachi, whether it be from a Hippowdon to this, where he throws up an Ice Punch. I don't know if you've been watching the GBA, but Ice Punch Jirachi freezes every single freaking time. Every time. So this Lumberry is to counter that. It's to stop paralysis from body slams. If he runs a banded Togekiss, which he has this season, he usually runs Hustle Kiss, but if he wants to, I mean, he doesn't even have to run a banded set. If he just wants it instead of Thunder Wave to get the Paraflinch going, Body Slam is always a good substitute for that, especially considering how many ground types are going to be brought on my team. So Body Slam is always an option for Togekiss, so that's namely to stop the Serene Grace shenanigans. I don't at all expect to live a Scald from Keldeo, but in the event I do, the Lumberry is going to be there. Nice. So yeah, that's awesome, and that's what we have planned for GG It's MV, Lord MV, and the San Diego Chimchargers. So alright guys, let me know what you think in the comments below, what you feel was good prep, bad prep, etc. And hopefully tomorrow all of our preparation will pull through and we will come out with the victory. So alright guys, this has been Oldmantup, and we will catch you on the flip side. Peace.